Hello, Rip City. Welcome to beautiful Southeast Portland. I am Justin Myers from Rip City Mornings. Did I decide to go cool guy sunglasses for this video? Yes, I did. All right, instant reaction. Well, not instant reaction because I was having brunch with my mom and got stuck on I-5. So a little delayed reaction to the NBA draft lottery, and there's no possible way that the Blazers could get jumped by three different wait, they did? Three different teams. So here we sit with the draft lottery, and the Blazers are going to be picking number 7 and number 14. And I know there's probably a handful of you that are a little bit bummed out, maybe more than a handful of you that are a bit bummed out. But here's the good news. Picks, no matter where they are, eventually become players. So I know you guys don't maybe want to be or hear Captain Positive or, Mr. Optimistic or whatever, but silver lining on getting jumped 3 spots and now having to pick 7 instead of into the top 3. Let's take a look at what's going on in the playoffs right now in the NBA. The 3-time MVP was drafted, Nikola Jokic, in the second round during a Taco Bell commercial. That actually happened. They were playing a Taco Bell commercial advertising Crunchwrap Supremes when Jokic was drafted. He's won the MVP now 3 times in a row. Jalen Brunson is also top 5 in the MVP voting. He was also picked in the second round, 33rd picked. Number 2 in the MVP voting. Yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was picked number 11. Tyrese Halliburton, who is right in the mix as well, and has the Pacers alongside with the Knicks for a chance at making a run of the NBA Finals. He was drafted 12th. So always, always, always remember, yes, it is a bummer when you don't have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not even 6, all those picks, but those picks eventually become players. And hopefully the Blazers can knock one out of the park, or 2, because you got the number 14 pick in this draft as well. So happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. We'll talk to you Monday morning, 6 a.m. on Rip City Mornings. Sean Highkin from the Rose Garden Report is going to be joining us in the 3rd hour. So all day coverage on the NBA playoffs, but this draft lottery and the results for the Blazers coming up on Monday on Rip City Mornings.
Well, Trailblazer fans, I'm sure you think it couldn't have turned out much worse for your team in the draft lottery today. But trust me, it's not the worst thing in the world. This is a year that if you're going to get bumped out of the top 3 picks, top 4 picks, it's a good time to have this happen. First of all, I don't think you wanted those salaries, those rookie contracts on your salary cap this year. There's problems with the luxury tax already, so that wouldn't have worked real well. I've heard all along that there's about 7 good players in this draft that you might think were rotation players. Well, they still got a chance to get one of them. I think the funniest thing to occur in this is, hey, Wembanyama needs a little help down in San Antonio. Let's just have the Spurs pull a pick out of nowhere and get the 4th pick. There's just something about that, along with my trust level with the NBA, that I'm not quite sure about. But, we'll save that for maybe the radio show on Monday from 3 to 6. Until then, hey, hang in there, Blazer fans. It's not a bad year to get the shaft in the lottery.
I see all the comments right now. We got screwed. We're a cursed franchise. Don't worry about it, Rip City. The Trailblazers are going to be just fine. They get pick number 7 and number 14 in this upcoming draft. They have 2 second-round picks. They have a lot of tools to work with. And the weird part about today's lottery was that you had 3 teams that were jumped, and the Hawks, who have never won the lottery before, I think had the second lowest odds to ever jump up to number 1. So that was surprising. But for the Blazers, they got a lot of tools to work with. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a player and package the other first-round pick to move out with maybe something on the roster as they continue to consolidate. But one thing for certain, in a draft like this that Joe Cronin called an opportunity in his exit interview, he and Schmitz have got their eyes on some guys that maybe you don't know about, but that can possibly come in and be contributors. Hopefully they're going to be able to find a forward that can come in and mesh well with their current group. So the Blazers get number 7 and number 14. Draft is coming up at the end of June, and then free agency at the beginning of July as they kick off a very important offseason. It was cool to see Scoot chilling, repping Rip City there at the lottery today.
Well, happy Mother's Day, Rip City. Chris Burkhardt here with you, and happy Mother's Day is about all you can say today. That makes it a good day, right? It's a tough one if you're a Blazer fan. Let's see, come in number 4, 4th best odds of getting the number 1 overall pick, and it didn't happen because 3 teams jumped in the draft lottery. Unheard of. The Atlanta Hawks going from 10 to number 1. It's unreal. And now if you're the Blazers, now you're left to pick up the pieces. There are positives, right? I think the positive is the fact that you got 2 picks in this upcoming draft right now. You got the number 7 and you got number 14 thanks to that trade with the Golden State Warriors. So all is not lost. I also think if you're trying to be optimistic, this is one of those drafts where you really don't know who's the best player. Like Sarr is kind of, separated himself, so to speak, but there's still available guys that are going to be there, going to help you out, and we'll see how it goes. But overall, just really tough. I know there was a lot of fans who were excited, think they're going to get up there into that 1, the 2, maybe the 3. No, didn't happen thanks to the craziness that is the NBA draft lottery. But of course, I think we got to watch what happens here throughout the off season, because if there's no one available that you like, do you trade those picks? I mean, people are going to be clamoring to get in there and get number 7, add someone to their roster as well. But there's going to be players who are available, and you got to monitor it. That's why the combine is going to be huge. That's why these pre-draft workouts are going to be huge. Everything is important. The AC is kicking on. The daughters are crying because things are getting loud. I don't know if that was my daughter crying or Rip City crying because they didn't get into number 1, but it is what it is. And at this point, you just let the pieces fall where they lie, and you do your work to make sure you get a good draft pick. And keep in mind, some of the greatest Blazers of all time, right? Brandon Roy wasn't the number 1 overall pick. Damian Lillard wasn't the number 1 overall pick. LaMarcus Aldridge, CJ McCollum, all these guys that people have loved over the years were number 1 overall picks. Wesley Matthews, he came here from Utah, but he was undrafted. So you never know what you're going to get. I would say, you know what? Look at it. Look at the weather behind me. It's beautiful. Go enjoy it, because you know what? It doesn't matter whether you get 1st or 7th. It's a beautiful day in here in Rip City, and everything's going to be just all right.